So now we are starting the voice clear today.
Okay, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The we are discussed yesterday. The class is influence of geography and environment. So it is clear the geography and environment. So the first of all we found the what is the geography of India? So the significance of geography uh, from the historical view is so according to the Richard Hookley, who was a historian, so he says that the history for the eyes like a eyes. So without history, the Indian history cannot be understood without some knowledge of its historic geographical background or its India's geography. So geography used to the history as a eye, just like a the we are discussed that correlationship with the other social or scientific sciences like the sociology, economics, and political science like this. The correlation with the geography and chronology is very significantly uses to the history, which is just like the sun and moon of the world, sun and moon of the universe. Just like that, here the chronology and the geography both are two eyes of the history. So, unlike some Chinese or Arabs were neglected that views of geographical view, but India articulate that type of geographical and chronological uh, uniformation of the construction of history. So, the name which was in ancient times to now, the India have the three types of names. Those are the first we are called in English as India, and the second word the Muslim were named as the Hindustan, and we are in India. We would like to. We are already uses like Bharat. So, in ancient Puranic stories, like Hindu religious texts were mentioned that Bharatavarsha, Bharatakanda, or Asetu Himachale, Bharatavarshe, Bharatakande. So, this is seems to be the features of this land, seems to be a continent. So, which the features are the different races, different languages, different tribes, different religions. So, these are all uniformly says that the India is subcontinent. It is seems to be a subcontinent. That's why the ancient our ancestors are called as that the Bharata Kande or Bharata Varshe. How that Bharata was derived for the name of India, that is the Bharata, it is called as a king, famous king in Puranic stories. So just like Ramayana, so the epical hero Rama and his brother Bharata ruled this continent. That's why it is formed the name as the Bharata. So some another historians are says like that the according to the Mahabharata, so Bharata Puru, the both tribes are quarreled after that quarrels, after that wars, the Bharata tribe was settled in India. That's why the people, those who are the descendants of successors of Bharata, those are called Bharata Vamsha or Bharata Kanda or Bharata people, or says like that. So afterwards, before the 3rd century, so the Alexander and the so many Greeks were came to India. That Greeks are they are treated that India as the identification mark of the river Indus. So behalf of the name of river Indus, so these people were Indois, Indoi, Indois people. So in a Greek text, so that is which is called now the Indois treated as India or Indus or Indica. So who was the Greek historian or Greek ambassador during the Mauryan Empire? Megasthenes also wrote in his experience in his traveling text that is Indica. Megasthenes he wrote the book Indica. So according to that, the Greeks were treated, or the Europeans are treated with behalf of the name of Indus River, that is called India. So this is the second name of India, and the third name Hindustan. Those who are Arabs were invaded to India. The most of the people were belongs to the Hindu religion. That's why the people says that are Hindu people are Hindustan. So another argument is there. That argument was the in Arab language there is no the sa. That's why the people were instead of that sa, they are used that he. That's why we are used that. Indus or Hindustan, so treated corrupted as that Hindustan. So these are the name of the text in Puranic and the historical views of the three types of names is going on. So next one, the boundaries of India. This is the identification or the physical feature of India. Is so the boundaries, which is we are seems to be the imagination of the lines, just like longitudes and latitudes. According to that longitudes on the globe, so 8 degrees 4 minutes are now north latitudes to 47 degrees 6 minutes of north latitudes. So between the longitudes, 68 degrees 7 minutes to 97 degrees 25 minutes east longitudes it is located. So the length of north to south, it is spread over that 3,214 kilometers, and the east to west, it is spread over the 2,944 kilometers, and the span of area, the covers, India covers that area is 32 lakhs 87,540 square kilometers. So the coast is around from the Gujarat to Bay of Gujarat to Bengal. It is spread over the 7,506 kilometers, 6.5 kilometers are the coastal range, and the area of totally the boundaries of the earth boundary of the about 92 districts of 17 states. The northern boundary spread over the 1,506.7 kilometers. 1,506.7 kilometers spread over the northern boundary. So this is the boundaries of India. It is another natural boundaries are the eastern part boundary of Bay of Bengal, the southern part of India, Indian Ocean, and the western part of India, Arabian Sea. The northern part of India is boundary is which is the large mountain of Himalayas. So afterwards, we are going to the discuss about the ranges or mountains. So the India have the so many mountains like Himalayas on the north and Nilagiri or Mahendragiris are in the south. The eastern Ghats in east and western Ghats in west and middle of part of India, Vindhya Satpura ranges and the northwest part of India, the which are the Harawali Mountains were located. So these mountains were influenced the Indian people. So the Himalayas, which is the natural and youngest mountains in the world, one of the youngest mountains in the world. So before the thousand millions of years ago, that place the base of Himalayan mountains have the Tethys Sea. The Tethys Sea located after the million years ago, the Himalayan mountains were born. That's why we are calling them as youngest mountains in the world. One of the youngest mountains in the world. And the Himalayas. Hima means you know about that Hima treated as that snow or boards of snow. So the in that Himalayas from the west to east covered with the north. So the ranges were along so far approximately 2,400 kilometers far and the width of the Himalayas from beginning of 150 kilometers to approximately 300 kilometers width have that Himalayas. So in that Himalayan mountains were so many peaks like all the peaks like 7,000 meters above on the hills of on the peaks of Himalayan mountains. So the Himalayan mountains were so divided into three parts. Those are the Himadri, Hima, ice, Adri, just so high. So the Himadri, which were the highest peaks are located in this Himadri, and the Himachal, the which is the middle part of Himalayan foots to Himalayan heights, which is the middle part of that area is called as Himachals or Himachala. So, and the Shivaliks, the foots of Himalayas are called the Shivaliks. So, regarding to these divisions, so the Himadris located so many peaks. So, just like that, you know very well the Mount Everest. It is so far in the world. It is covered through the 8,848 meters. So after that, the K2, the peak of K2. So it is also second peak in Himalayas. It is so far above the high of 8,611 meters and the Kanchan Janga. So another highest peak in Himalayas. So 8,598 and the Dhavalagiri, it is also highest peak. It is also 8,172 meters and Nanda Devi, so many are there and Nanda Devi 7,817 meters. So among these, the India's highest peak in India was so is that Kanchan Janga. So Everest is in we know it is in Nepal, but Kanchenjunga is in India. So it is the highest peak of India, Kanchenjunga, 8,598, approximately 8,600 meters of high in India's highest peak. So the second one is Himachala. Himachala. So these Himachala chalas of it is peaks of the 1,000 to 7,000 are areas, 7,000 high of meters. So it is so many middle part of shikars or hill stations or highest peaks are just like Himachals are Pir Panjal, one of the peak of highest in the Shivaliks or in the middle part of the Himachals. So Pir Panjal and Dhauladhar and Mahabharata, these are the ranges so far occupied the earth, and so these are located some areas, Himachalas in the summer location of Simla or Dalhousie and Darjeeling and Chakrata and Montessori and Nainital. So these are the highest places, highest Himachals of in Himalayan mountains. So the foods of Himalayas are called as the Sivaliks. The Sivaliks are going on height of above the sea level 600 meters to 1100 meters and above. So these are span of area is one peak is covered approximately 10 kilometers to 50 kilometers. So these are called as hill stations. These are not a peaks or not a shikars. So these hill stations were Jammu Hills, located in Sivaliks were the Jammu Hills, and so many dunes are located here. So just like Dehradun and Kotli Dune and Putli Dune. So these dunes are above the compare with above the peaks and Shivaliks. So these dunes are covered the density population existed in now present. So afterwards we are going to the northwest of part of India, the Harawali Mountains. So the Harawali Mountains are located in Rajasthan. So the Rajasthan fully crossed that Rajasthan south and as well as the southwest and as well as the northwest of Rajasthan. So some deserted areas also here. So like the Bikaner and Jodhpur and Jaisalmer. So these are the deserted areas of the mountains, and the another mountains are is also located here. Before the eastern part of these mountains are having that fertile lands. Fertile lands are the best soils are located in front of the Harawali Mountains. Those are Udaipur and Jaipur. So, and behalf of these mountains are Harawali Mountains are the peak, the highest peak was Guru Shikar. The Guru Shikar is the highest peak. It is going on the highest meters of 1722 meters. It is 1700. Guru Shikar is highest peak in the Harawali Mountains. So it is the tourist place is Abu Mountain also be located here. So afterwards we are going to the middle part of India, the Vindhya Mountains. So these Vindhya Mountains are horizontally located in middle part of India. So it is divided that northern people and southern people. So these ranges are very stretches of the peninsular India. So it is the peaks are high above that 1050 heights, and it is covered approximately the 1000 square meters of span of area is covered. So it is the elevation of these Indian mountains were 400 meters, and the Satpuras of borderline of these Indian mountains in Deccan. So next we are going to the Satpura Mountains. So the Satpura Mountains of the located the southern part of Indian mountains. These are also the very heights of above the sea level, approximately 1000 meters height, and the Dhupgarh, the highest peak of this Harawali, or sorry, the Satpura Mountains, the highest peak Dhupgarh is 1450 meters height. It is nearest the very good tourist place and the popular place of Panchmari. It is located in Madhya Pradesh. So the Panchmari. So the Mahidev hills were located here, and the south of the Gauligar hills also located in Satpura Mountains. So these are the northern part of, and these are the located in Himalayan mountains to the western part of Harawali Mountains, and the triangular, these mountains are boundaried the Gangatic Plane. So the triangular boundaries, just northern part of the Gangatic Plane is Himalayas, the southern part of southern boundary is Harawali Mountains, the western boundary is Harawali Mountains, the southern boundary is that Gangatic Plane is Vindhyan Mountains and Satpura Mountains. So after that, going on across that the Vindhyan Mountains, the triangular Deccan Plateau, having that the eastern part of the Deccan Plateau is the southern part of India, the southern India having that eastern part, eastern Ghats. So the southern part of western India having that western Ghats. So which were the difference between the mountains and Ghats? We are divided like that. Above the 1000 meters of height, those are called as mountains, and below the 1000 meters of height, those are called Ghats or hills. So this is remember these words. So the Western Ghats, the Western Ghats were across that it is begins from the southern part of Narmada, south of Narmada River to the ranges of Nilgiris. It is attached with the annexed with the Eastern Ghats in the south of the Tamil Nadu, and these are called some southern part of Karnataka and Rayalaseema region. Those are called as the Sahyadri Mountains or Sahyadri Ghats. So these are started begins the Western Ghats were the mouth of Tapati River to the end of the Cape Cameroon in Kerala. So the special features of Western Ghats is the rivers, which were the rivers were Narmada and Tapati. Narmada and Tapati rivers were across that Western Ghats, and so they are crossed that Western Ghats, and it is merged into the Narmada and Tapati rivers are merged into the Arabian Sea. So all the rivers, those who are which one we are having the Indian rivers, all the rivers were going to merge the Bay of Bengal, but the only the Narmada, except the Narmada and Tapatis, these were only the merged in the rivers of these both rivers merged into the Arabian Sea. So the range between the coast and the ranges, the western coast and the ranges between the span of area is 50 kilometers to 80 kilometers. So the Western Ghats were originated so many rivers like the Godavari, Bhima rivers. Those were originated from the Western Ghats. So the peaks in that Western Ghats is so the Kalsubhai and Saler and Mahabaleshwar. These are the highest peaks in Western Ghats, and from 16 degrees north latitude to the Nilgiris to the which is located the Western Ghats were granite and gneiss the take place in the Deccan Trap, and the Nilgiris were merged near the Gudalur. Gudalur. It is the Nilgiris, the southern part of India, located in that Gudalur. The Western Ghats merged with the Eastern Ghats are Nilgiris. So the trending east-west lines were 24 kilometers of gap, evolution of 144 meters of heights, and 1500 meters to 2000 meters of height in Nilagiri mountains or Nilagiri hills. So in these Nilagiri hills, Annai Mudi Shikar or Annai Mudi peak, the nodal point is highest above the sea level 2006 2695 meters. So in these heights were located Palni Hills and Cardamom Hills, called as the Erra Malay. So now we are going to the Eastern Ghats. The Eastern Ghats were located from the beginnings of Orissa to the merged into the Nilagiris of South India. So it is prevailing the rock type is most of the condolite rocks are condolite the ethos. So the Mahendragiri hills also the spread over the 1501 the range of length, and the Orissa to Andhra Pradesh. So it is a span of area covered 100 to 200 meters of width. The Eastern Ghats were expanded. So except the Kadapa and Kurnool districts, Kadapa except Kadapa and Kurnool districts were except that Eastern Ghats, these are parallel go to from Orissa to the south, parallel going on. So between the it is established the valleys too. The valleys are like Krishna Valley and the Pennar Valley. So these are located the coast to the Western Ghats, the coast of called as Coromandel coast. It is parallel to Nallamala forest. So so many hill stations and waterfalls are there. In Karnataka, Shivasamudram Falls and Hagenekal Falls and Balagiri Rangam Hills. So these hills are established some for waterfalls. So the Balgiri Rangam Hills were highest peaks. It is approximately above the sea level 1750 meters of height. So the southeast Ghats were Shivarai Hills and northeast Ghats of Javadi Hills. They are named as like that. So the Nilagiri East Ghats and the highest peak of Nilagiri is Dodabetta. So it is a height of above the sea level 2,647 meters of height. So this is the history of or the geographical feature of the mountains. So the mountains are ranges or hill stations or ghats. So these are located in a geography of India. So these are also produced that the mountains or ghats or hill stations were produced the so many density forests. It's make that so many density forests and it gives the so many coal, manganese, and tin, so many types of limestone, and these mines are given to the Indian people. So next we are going to the plains. So the plain was mainly located until we are discussed about that Gangatic Plain. It is located from Sindh or Indus rivers to the Brahmaputra River. So the east of Brahmaputra River, approximately 2,000 miles of the span of area is covered that Gangatic Plain. It is seems to be very triangular. So these boundaries previously we are discussed the west of Harawali Mountains, the north of Himalayas, the south of the Vindhyan Mountains. Among these mountains, the spread of ever covered that area is called the plain, which is Indus and Gangetic Plain. So it covers approximately the Gangetic Plain is covered approximately 960 kilometers. So it is also some hills are covered as Rajmahal Hills, where 440 kilometers are covered. They are drifted that fertilized lands. So that fertilized lands were called as the Sundarbans. So the Sundarbans were have that much of delta lands. The delta lands were divided into four types. Those are the delta lands were divided into the plain area of delta lands were divided into four types. Those were the Bhabar belt and the Terai belt and the Bhangar belt and the Khandar belt. So these four belts were fertilized, fertilization lands were given the crops to the Indian people. These are called the bowls of grains are located here. So many fertilizer crops were cropped here, and the alluvial soils, the deltas were made through the Gangas and its tributaries, the Brahmaputra and its tributaries also covered. So uh, it is span of area is covered through the rivers. So now we are going to the rivers. So the rivers are India have so many rivers have here. So those were from the beginning of the Indus rivers to the ending of the Kaveri or the Penna river is going on located in this India. So the Indian rivers were which were the longest river in India is the Ganga river. It is going so far of kilometers. The 2,525 kilometers are flowing, and the Ganga and its tributaries, so many are there. It is covered that Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal in India, and Afterwards also it is covered that Bangladesh also as Padma River. So the Ganga River very significantly it is give the importance by the Indians. Why? Because of it is the holy river of India. So it is given the so many fertile crops, and it is the joint through the it is covered in Puranic ages. It is given the very significant priority to the early Vedic people and later Vedic people, and afterwards also so many kingdoms are given that importance to the this Ganga river, and the Jamuna. This is like called as Yamuna river. So the Ganga and Yamuna and the internally flowing that Saraswati. These three are the very mythological rivers. Are it is a very significant rivers in India. So that's why the Ganga was merged with these all the rivers merged at Allahabad. So the Allahabad is significantly it is a very good ritual place of, and religious sentimental place of Allahabad is given the priority to the Indian people who those who are holy take the holy bath in life at once. So the river Ganga was declared by the Indian government in as a in 2008. It is as a national river. Ganga is a national river. So afterwards, the parallelly at the parallel the Brahmaputra also flowing, and its tributaries also given the fertile lands and deltas in India. It is runs the north to east. It is nearly 700 miles far in India. So it is from came from the China. It is originated from the Himalayan mountains. So it is covered with the Assam hills, and the Bengal people also flowing this river of the Brahmaputra. So these though of Ganga and Brahmaputra uh, made that delta lands in the face or in the mouth of the Bay of Bengal. So many are here. So afterwards, the Narmada river and the Tapti river. So the Tapati and Narmada were flowing at west. It is fertilized at the Gujarat and the northern part of Maharashtra. So both rivers are fertilized that regions. So that's why the regions were so many towns are established like Surat, like Ahmednagar and Gandhinagar. So these types of very mercantile towns were established afterwards the medieval and modern periods. So afterwards the Damodar Valley. So it is located at a Ranchi Plateau. So it is containing that Damodar Valley also. It is sometimes flows, and it is a very significantly given the crops to the fertilization. So in middle part of central India, located at Mahanadi. So it is located in Orissa. So it is originated from the Vindhyan mountains, which were the Dandakaranya, which was the Dandakaranyam in Indian mountains. It is originated. It is flowing from the highest peaks from 600 meters heights to 1,000 meters. The a small channels are born at the Dandakaranya, and it is merged into the Mahanadi. So it is so many projects are established here, constructed here, just like Hirakuda and Sambalpur project, irrigation projects were constructed here. Beyond that, Sambalpur, the river flows through the eastern Ghats in the 65 kilometers of land. A delta has been formed before the waters reach of Bay of Bengal. The so far from the Bay of Bengal to 65 kilometers of long of the eastern Ghats, it is flowing and merged into that. So in the peninsular rivers, those are all the northern part of rivers are the Gangatic Plane rivers, and the peninsular rivers. The peninsular rivers are significantly explained that the significantly we are take that the Godavari and Krishna. These are the major rivers in peninsular India or the South India. So these rivers are these rivers and these tributaries are given the fertilization in Dakkan or in fertilization into the southern part of India. It is the originated from Nasika, Trayambak, which were until we are discussing that Western Ghats, and the river Krishna also flowing that the Mahabaleshwar, it is originated. So it is also the tributes. It is the both rivers are born from west to those are both are flowing to the east. So they are merged into the Bay of Bengal. Between these rivers and these tributaries are given the fertile lands. So between these Krishna and Godavari rivers, the between fertile lands were called as the bowl of the rice bowl of India. So it is the have the title this region. So the Penna and Tungabhadra, the another rivers are flowing through the southern part of India. So these rivers also given the significantly given the fertile lands, and these rivers also given the ancient primitive man's civilizations or primitive man's sites are given by these rivers. So now we are going to the Deccan Plateau. So it is the Deccan Plateau is generally which is the above the Krishna River and below the Vindhyan mountain foots and Vindhya Satkura mountain foots. It is located as triangular. So this triangular span of area is covered with the strong granite stone. It is built up that Deccan Plateau. The cover of area 7 lakhs kilometer span of area. It is covered the Deccan Plateau. So it is also given the from the beginning of the Mahabharata's times to the modern times, it is significantly given the importance through the ages. So the Godavari, Bhima, and Krishna, so many rivers are flowing on this Deccan Plateau. So the hills also have that Balagat, Kandikal, Raki. So many hills and the Papi hills also located in these Deccan Plateau. The topography was characterized by the around the hills and rolling that plains. Most of the minerals located here, just like coals, mines, so the limestones, the forests and flora and fauna. So many are located here. So that's why so many dynasties were established here. So many rulers are seems to be occupied this area. Just like Aurangzeb also conquest this area, but he lastly he didn't. The intriguously he got the victory, but after this victory he was died. So the sentimentally this Deccan Plateau was the very good significantly importance is here. So it is also called as the bridge of North and South India. The mixed cultures are here. So the North Indians and the South Indians are lived here. So that's why the people, the Indian people were given the importance about this Deccan Plateau. So next we are going to the desert. We have the desert. One desert is located in Rajasthan that is called as Thar Desert. So the long years ago, the river, the desert was treated as Gaggar or Sukani. Streams were flowing on this desert. So these the Harawali Mountains were the horizontally crossed this desert. That's why the rainfall is not reached to that deserts. That's why there is no fertile lands. The span of the area covered that desert is approximately 1200 kilometers. So the area around the area of the desert is 2,08,751 kilometers of covered that around that Thar desert. So many there is only one animal lived in that desert that is camel. So the camel is the transport they are transported through that camel only. So now we are going to the coastal area. So until now we are discussed about that coastal area from the beginning of that Gujarat to the Bengal or the Mizoram. So this area is covered approximately 7,516.5 kilometers are gone. So these area coastal, the west coast and the east coast. So it is significantly occupied by the Europeans. So before that, in through the ages, the east coast is very good popular for the eastern Asian countries for the trade and commerce, and the west coast also be significantly given that importance to the west coast, like that the coast is called as Konkan coast, and the east coast is called as the Coromandel coast. So these both of these coasts were given the very good priority. The west coast given the priority in medieval India by the Arabs or South Asian countries, and the east coast given the priority by the East Asian countries. Afterwards, the people, those who are invented in India or those who are trading in India, that Europeans also be covered the span of coastal area, and they are implemented or developed that trade and commerce in India. So the Europeans were established that so many towns like Calcutta and Shore, Vishakhapatnam, and that Cuttack and Madras, and the west coast of so many towns like Calicut, Trivandrum, and Surat and Bombay. So just like the Europeans are established for their convenient, so many trading towns are established. The coastal territories. So these coastal territories were 12 nautical miles in ocean belongs to the Indian people. The property of 12 nautical miles of uh, East Ocean is covered by the Indian navies, and it is the coastal area which was touching that coastal area is 14 states, and so many Lakshadweep or Goa, Daman, and the Andaman Nicobar, this type of Pondicherry, these type of union territories also touch that coastal areas. So the especially the South Indians are carried the seaborne trade even the primitive times. So the early times also the primitive times also we are seen in South Indian people, those who are first established in South Indian kingdom, just like that which was established that Satavahanas. They are trading relation or commercial relation with the Roman people and the Greek people. So they are the Ptolemy, those who are visited in India. Afterwards, so many also came, just like Marco Polo in a medieval period also came to the South India, and he wrote his travels diary as the travels. So, like that, he also given the very good information about this South India. So, the coastal area very significantly create that very good trading, and the wealth of the southern part of India created by the coastal east and west coast areas. So the Vincent Smith, according to the Vincent Smith, he says about that the neglect of navy as one of the cause the downfall of the uh, Mughal Empire and occupied by the Europeans. So what he says that the Vincent Smith says that the Europeans, when the Europeans are arrived into India, so those are occupied these India through the neglect of Mughals, those who are the emperors of India when the Europeans were came. So in the times they are neglected the navies, or they are neglected that coastal armies. So that's why they are occupied. He who give the opinion about on that occasion. So now we are going to the what is the impact of the geography in India. So the impact of geography of India. So the first of all we are we are discussed about the Himalayas. The Himalayas also save the country from the foreign invasions as the fortress, natural fortress of India, natural fortress of India, and it is also protected from the Siberian breeze or Siberian winds. So it is also protected.
What is one?
So the another use of the India, the Himalayan mountains were, so which were the western part of India, the northwest of India, the Hindu Kush mountains. In that Hindu Kush mountains are located is in northwest part of India. In that Hindu Kush mountains, the Khyber Pass and Bolan Pass. So this is also neglected by the very ancient people, and as well as that medieval dynasties. That's why the invaders are came through the Khyber Pass and the Bolan Pass. So the Greeks and Persians and the Western peoples were the foreigners were came to India, and they are given the particular culture of their own. But the Indian people were influenced that culture, but they are not merged in that people's the culture and tradition. So that those who are came to India, the people were merged into the India and Indian culture, but some of couple of traditions, couple of cultures are followed by the Indians, and afterwards the Gangatic Plane we are discussing. The Gangatic Plane also be given the peoples, those who are the wise people, and those that Gangatic Plane was first established the largest empires, the largest empires. So the first empire is we are called what we are called that Mauryan Empire was established in that region. So many ancient towns also established this Gangetic Plain. So just like the ancients were the which is the Takshashila and Koshambi and Pataliputra, Rajagraha and the Kundalavana. So these type of Prayaga, Ayodhya, so many are here. So the
What
place.
is Harappan civilization, sir?
Hello.
What is Harappan civilization?
So we are going to afterwards. It is in our lesson. So afterwards we are discussing. So the Harappan civilization is located at Indus River. So I am telling about that. Of course, Indus civilization also covered the eastern part of the Indus River. So after we are discussing at the time of Indus, discussing the about the Indus Valley civilization. So until now we are the Gangetic, the influence of Gangetic Plain. So many kingdoms are established here. So many crops are cropped here. So many towns are established by the emperors. So many races merged here. Those who are invaded on India. So supposed to be that Greeks, Indo-Greeks, and Yavans, Shekas, Pallavas, as well as that those who are came to in medieval India, Arabs also, the Turkish people, Arabic people, and the Afghan people. So these people, all people are came to this region and merged into that pass. They are called as Agni Kula Kshatriyas. Afterwards, we are discussed in deeply, and the influence of the southern part of India, the Deccan Plateau also given that similarly above that Gangetic Plain. So that's why the people, those who are the foods of lived the foods of Himalayan, the eastern Ghats of Himalayans, and the western Ghats of the Harawali Mountains. So these mountainal, so people, those who are lived near the mountains, that people were going to be a brave, and they are joined into the armies, and they are protected that totally Indian borders, and they are bravely covered the India. And the southern people also exported in through the coastal area. So they are also going on the very good navigation. So, on behalf of these so many races, so many people, so many tribes, so many cultures, so many languages are existed in India. That is, in spite of that, so many rivers, so many cultures, so many tribes existed in India. So many rivers, religions also existed in India. In spite of that, those are all greatly uniformed as India is the great and greatest India as unity in diversity. So India has a very good much of diversity through the different people, different cultures, different races, different languages. So all are mixed into the one word, that is India, Indian Union, or Indian in Sanskrit literature also shows that. Imagine that the Bharatakanda or Bharatavarsha as the Buddhist literature also given that unity in diversity of India, called as that Jambu Dvipa, which is the Jagrit culture. So thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Sir,
you, sir.
sir,
Hello, sir. Thank you,
Sorry
sir.
for the outside disturbance, if you don't mind.
sir, doubt, sir.
Sir, we heard outside.
Tell me.
Sir, what is diversity?
Hello, sir. Can you please provide some material? We didn't have textbooks, sir.
Okay, tell me, ma.
సార్ కొంచెం మెటీరియల్ ఏమైనా పీడిఎఫ్ ప్రొవైడ్ చేయండి సార్, మాకు అసలు టెక్స్ట్ బుక్స్ లేవు. రన్నింగ్
You have to text
ఇంకా
books.
స్టడీ సెంటర్స్ దగ్గర రాలేదు సార్.
So I will try at the time of class.
What is money? Money charity, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know your. So this is the official Zoom connection. That's why. How can I send that? I don't know.
Sir, you can please give us number and we can join you in WhatsApp group, sir, so that you can provide some PDF or material to us.
Okay, Mama. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Right.
Provide your number.
It is most important, sir. Please, sir. Can you do?
Hello, sir. Please tell your number, sir.
98498.
Sir, closely. 9848.
98498.
98498
93356.
93356. Okay, sir.
98498933.
Please kindly provide some PDF or material if possible, sir.
Okay, I will provide, Nana, but you can create the group.
Okay, sir. Already we have group, sir.
Okay, Nana. Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Hey.